Hi snooker fans, Curtis Braithwaite here for snookerfans.co.uk. I've got a legend in the house with me today. Legend. The Big 15 as we call him, Ian McCulloch, former World Championship semi-finalist and all-round good guy. So just here for a Where Are They Now special today.
Sat at your kitchen table.
Sat at my kitchen table. That's how intimate we do things. You know what I mean? Yeah. But 15, how are you, my man?
All good, pal. All good, yeah. Can't complain.
Fantastic to catch up with you, pal. Just catching up and see what you've been up to, pal. You stopped playing 2012. Since then,
soon goes, doesn't it? Yeah, 7 years. Yeah.
Since then, mate, we've seen you in and around the venues, but I know you're a very busy man. So what's happening?
I didn't want to stop playing, Kurt. I'll be honest. And I was generally a little bit. I was low. I was very low when I packed in playing. I didn't pack in playing because my game had gone. I packed in playing because I was having a lot of physical problems with my shoulder and my neck. Yeah. I'd like to think I'd still be playing now. Nobody knows, but snooker was never the be all and end all. I had my fingers in a lot of pies. I did a lot of extra work away from snooker, all linked with snooker, and it wasn't a financial decision to keep carrying on playing snooker. Yeah. It was a physical decision and a life decision. I had a great 20 years. It gave me more than I ever thought it would do. It still does give me more than I ever thought it would do. And I didn't take the decision lightly. I made the decision about 6-7 months before. There was only Wendy knew, my wife. And I was sad. I lost to Luca Brecco on my last match, and I knew it was time. The fire had gone out. There was no. Yeah. The love for it had gone. The love for the competing had gone because of one or two things, and I put my cue away, but I'm still very heavily involved, as I always have been. Looking after a few players, getting player sponsorship. I do a hell of a lot of stuff with the snooker lads with exhibitions, the darts lads with exhibitions, dinner speaking, things like that. So I've got my finger in a few pies, and still very heavily linked with it. I love it. I still love it. It's nice seeing all the lads still. Whether they like seeing me or not, some of them.
Yeah, I remember years ago when we first met properly. I remember you doing an exhibition in Camberwell, mate, and we took a shot into each other straight away. We always got on well, but I think because maybe we're both quite outspoken and say what we feel.
No, I'm quite. Do not tie me with that brush, pal. Do not tie me.
But yeah, to the after dinner speaking and the exhibitions, pal, how much of those sort of things are you still involved in?
I mean, obviously, I did a lot of plain ones myself. That when I was sort of like doing well at the snooker, sort of like say between 2000 2005, we only had 7 tournaments a year. Yeah. And even when I turned professional in 1992, we only had about 10. So there was a lot of downtime, and I didn't like the fact that I wasn't earning. So I went out and did the clubs, and I got a lot of contracts with breweries and companies, and I built up a circuit every year where I was out most weeks. I was out 3-4 nights a week. That's 200 nights a year. That's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, yeah.
It's not like that now. The clubs have sort of like they're going, especially up the north. A lot of the clubs have shut down now, but I still have a lot of good relationships with venues and things like that, and that's why I can. There's a lot of clubs still take stuff off me and every year, and obviously so when the playing days came to an end, the last playing exhibition I did was. Probably about 6 years ago now, and I hadn't been practicing, and there's only so long you can do gigs for and get away with the jokes and stories, and I realised that the snooker was bobbins, to be honest, so it's time to put the cue away. And I've probably got every month half a dozen lads out working for me on absolutely everything, speaking, I say dinners, darts. I don't do as much. I still do a lot of MCing, but I don't do as much. I lost my mum about 3 years ago, and it knocked the stuffing out of me a little bit, if I'm honest, Kurt.
Yeah, I remember that, Bob.
And I don't. So I like sort of my family time now. So in the last 3 years, I don't do as many Friday and Saturday nights as what I used to do. I was never at home, and I like my family time now. And the kids are getting a little bit older, so I've still got my eye in. I don't want to do nothing, and I still there's quite a lot of venues who I've worked with for years that I like going to, and I know the lads and it's good crack. So just steady away. I try and sort of like get out. Say 4 times a month, something
when
like
Wendy
that.
lets you out, mate, yeah?
When Wendy lets me out, exactly, yeah.
Quality, pal. Now, you had a very, very, very good career, pal. Got yourself into the top 16, which is the aspirations of any player.
That's debatable. 16 and a half.
16 and a half, mate, yeah. which is the aspiration of any young player.
Absolutely, yeah.
Turning pro. I mean, to get to the pinnacle of the game, obviously getting to the top 16, to the semis of the World Championships. So tell us a little bit about your career and your great memories of your career.
It's weird because obviously we're in Preston now, and this is my town. And when I was sort of like coming through, the number one guy in the town was a guy called Chris Cookson, and Chris had got through on the old pro ticket system. He actually beat Drew Henry to get through, and it was always a really good hotbed for amateurs. Obviously Stuart Petman was from this town.
Yeah, good player. Sure.
There was a guy called Lee Robinson who actually beat John Higgins in the World Championships in 93, 94, and I was sort of like at the bottom end of that pile, and I was told I was wasting my time apparently. And instead of being, as you know, Kurt, I'm not the sort of person that shirks away from a challenge.
Nope, definitely not.
And I looked at that guy and I thought, I'm going to prove you wrong. And not just him, I proved a lot of people wrong. And I used to get in the club every morning at 9 o'clock when all the lads were coming in at 10:30. So I had an hour and a half practice every day before they came in. So that's 7.5 hours a week, 5 days a week. That's 30 hours a month.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So eventually you catch up. And then I realised that nothing against Preston. I realised that I was never going to be the snooker player I wanted to be.
Yeah.
Staying in Preston, so I took myself over to Blackburn, 10 miles away, and there was Jack McLaughlin over there at the time. Was about world number 40. There was a better Dave Harold was there, who's obviously one of my best pals. Shawkat Ali was over there, all good amateurs. Never really did it as a pro, Shawkat, but he was a good player.
Yeah.
And I started working with a guy called Mick Caddy.
Right.
And Mick Caddy worked on attitude. As I work exactly with my lads now as Mick Caddy worked with me, and it's all about getting your diet right, getting your sleep pattern right, doing the right things in practice, getting yourself physically fit. And as Mick used to say, there's 8 hours in a day. You sleep 8 hours, you practice 8 hours. What are you doing with the other 8 hours? You know, if you're going to sit on an Xbox and eat cake, you're never going to be fit, are you?
No, correct.
And it took me about 12 months to really see the benefits of that. And once I got a taste of the venue type of snooker, first time I played at a venue, I played Stephen Hendry. And once I got a taste of the venue type of snooker, where some people have gone, I don't like getting beat off top players. I sort of like when I don't want to get beat off top players. I want to beat top players, and I want to be a top player. Yeah. So I worked even harder, and I probably took it to extremes. To be honest, I didn't have much of a life.
Yeah.
You know, every night I was out training on a bike. I was fit as a flea. I was constantly working on stuff with Mick and you know, I was down. I'd go down and play Anthony Hamilton once a week and pick balls out for Nottingham. I'd be playing Dave Harold a couple of days a week, who's best of par, be up to Scotland picking balls out for Henry and John Higgins. Yeah. I was never content, and you know, I got a lot of stick for it because there's lads would ring me for a game and I didn't want to play them because I wasn't benefiting anything. Yeah. What's the point of doing a go to work if you're not going to benefit anything?
Correct.
And so I pushed myself, and when O'Sullivan beat me in the final in 2004 at Preston, I was number 11. On the new system now, I'd have probably been up to about number 5. Yeah. You know, but I have no regrets, Kurt. I've got a dicky shoulder, but I don't look back and think. I'd hate to think that I'd wake up in the morning and go, I wish I'd have done this or I wish I'd have done that. The only regret I have is I never won a ranking event, you know, but we only had 7 a year then. It's not regret, it's just something I would have liked to have done. You know, but I wouldn't do it again. Because I had no life for 15 years, but as jobs go for having the crack, it's the best job in the world. I've had 2 or 3, 4 really good mates, as you know who they are. Yeah. Out of snooker, we're thickest, loyal friends as well, not just snooker friends, loyal friends. Yeah. You know, we've all helped each other out in the past with various things. And snooker has given me a good living. It still does give me a good living. More to the point, it's given my family security. Yeah. And it still does give my family security, and my children can have things that I never had. And so, yeah, you know, did I overachieve? I don't know. I definitely didn't underachieve.
Correct.
You know, so if you'd have told me that I was going to get what I was going to get out of it in 1992, I'd have said you've been on the pipe all night with you, you know. But no, it's because I worked hard and I built up a lot of relationships with people. I can still go to those people now. I still have business dealings with those people now, and it still pays the bill, so I can't complain.
Different class, pal. And that's why I wanted to get you on camera, and I've wanted you for so long, because you're one of the real ones, pal. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean by that. That's no disrespect to anybody on the tour, but I mean one of the real ones. I mean who's lived it and breathed it.
I've always said it as it was, Curtis.
Exactly.
It's not everybody's cup of tea, that, but you know.
Listen, it never will be.
No, absolutely.
Talking about tea, for a southerner, how's my brew, mate? Any good?
Next question. It's alright. It's a good job I'm not fussy, innit?
Quality, mate. Now, just touching on your friendships and what you had throughout the tour, like I said, many years on tour, mate. I want to touch on one of your good pals, Big Dave. Good man, legend.
Dave Harold.
I know you and Dave got some great stories, mate. So if you got anything you want to ping out on camera, let us know, mate. But how is Big Dave anyway? How is he?
Dave is Dave's just Dave, isn't he? He is as I said, has been a very, very loyal friend to us to this day. I spoke to him this morning, actually. And just what a player, you know, probably a very off the radar player David was. Fantastic amateur. Quote me if I'm wrong, I think Dave still holds the record, which will never be beaten. I think Dave earned something like £34,000 in 1989-90 as an amateur. Wow. That's not including money matches, and he was cleaning up in the money matches as well. What a player. And because he wasn't a Judd Trump, or because he wasn't a Jimmy White, or because he wasn't a bit of a madhead Potter, he was off the radar massively. You know, but there was a spell in Dave's career. Obviously, won Thailand. He lost the final of John Higgins in I think it was the Grand Prix. Mark Williams in the Grand Prix, one of them two. But there was a spell where David was at the back end of every tournament, quarterfinals, semi-finals, and Dave was a great benchmark for me. I used to, because we were practicing, and you know, most days I was eating 8, 9, 10 tons and getting the better of him, and you know, that's no lie. You speak to Chris Norbury, he'll tell you them sort of lads how good I was, and I used to think, why is Dave doing better than me? So I used to think, well, if it's good enough for Dave Harold, I'm going to do it twice as much, whatever he was doing, you see. So, and he was a great, and when I got on a par with Dave used me as a bit of a benchmark. We used to bounce off each other. It was brilliant, you know. And he was a great person to have around, as daft as people thought he was, and he was daft, and he is daft. God love him. He was a great. A lot of people probably don't realise how professional David was. And when it was that 8 months of the season, David got his nut down. And he was a diligent practicer. You know, Sunday mornings we'd be in the club at 9 in the morning. If that's what it was, that's what it was. You know, and we'd cut each other's throat 3 best of 9s in a day. There was no messing around 2 best of 7s. You know, I see kids now. Oh, you had a good day's practice, yeah, with 2 best of 7s. So what did you do after dinner? Do you know what I mean? When we, you know, there's many a night when I'd be driving up the M6 from Stoke at 6:30 at night, and Dave would be driving back down to Stoke, you know. And he was just such a good player, and just a really good mate. He's steady away, Dave. Do you know what I mean? Does his own thing, and great lad.
But you know, Ian, that's the reason why you guys got the maximum out of your careers, because of that upbringing, and that's what's suffering badly in the amateur game now. I mean, I've got a massive passion for the amateur game and wanting to see things excel, but like they a lot of the amateurs, they lack the work ethic that you guys had. I
don't just think it's the amateur guys. I see some of the lads who are getting on tour, you know, they think they're working hard. You know, I get lads who come and see me, can I help? And they come and see me, and I sit them down and I go, are you prepared to work hard? And they go, yeah. I go, what, for the next 20 years? And their faces drop. And you know, and they think, you know, I've heard, one of the best quotes I ever heard was somebody lost in the World Championships, first round. I'm not saying who it was, and he said to me, I've dedicated my life to this game for the last 5 weeks. Do you know what I mean? And then, but you know, but you can't. I see a lot of kids on tour now, and they don't realise what you have to do. Do you know what I mean? And they'll make every excuse under the book. They'll change the cues, they'll change clubs, they'll change practice partners, they'll change anything they can.
Apart from working hard.
Apart from their attitude.
Yeah.
And if your attitude's bad to what you are doing as a job, you are never going to be successful. And there's loads of kids out there who've there's not one player on tour who can't be a player. There's one player. They can all play snooker, but what separates the guy who's at number 100, I haven't got a clue who's at number 100, from the guy who's at number 6. I don't know who's number 6. I never look at the ranking list, right? Mark Allen, Stewart, I don't know, right? And it's not ability. There's obviously might be a bit of ability, but the work ethic's better. You know, Stuart Bingham was a great example. You know, he never stops, and that's why he gets what he gets.
Plays in everything as well, doesn't he?
Absolutely.
So 15, what advice would you give for any youngster just taking up the game now?
treat it like a job, because it is your job. And there'll be a day when you're not playing anymore, and when you're 20, I did it myself. I remember walking in at Blackpool and seeing the likes of Les Dodd and Danny Fowler, who I knew well, and thinking, you're 40 odd, you're rubbish. And then the day comes when I'm 40 odd, and the young lads who are 20 are looking at me and going, you're 40 odd, you're rubbish, right? 20 years in a career goes very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And I wasted the first 3-4 years of my career through thinking I knew what I was doing right. Some people are too proud to ask for help.
Yeah.
Some people think they're too good to ask for help. I spoke to one kid a couple of years ago. I didn't really know him, and I was in his company, and I said, "Oh, have you got next match?" And he went, Anthony Hamilton, and he went, "If I play out like, I'll bury him."
Wow.
And I think I'm beating 5-1. I think, but Ant can't play, can he? You know what I mean? Yeah. Right. So I think Ant was another great practice, a good friend as well. And you've got to treat it as a job. And I'll name you a name, Craig Steadman. I admire the lad, nice lad as well. I've known Craig since I can remember Craig coming into the snooker club in his school uniform.
Yeah, he's a great lad, Craig.
But what I like about Craig is he understands that he's not breaking any records in the ranking events, so he goes out and does the other work, and he'll go trolling around the clubs, around the exhibitions, around Manchester and Rochdale and Bury, and it's a tough school in them clubs, yeah. But he does it. I get kids who say to me, "Can you get me some work?" And you get them some work, and they go, "It's not enough." Or, "Can you get me some sponsorship?" I go, "Yeah, some sponsorship. How much do you want?" And they go, "Well, it's World Championships like, and I'm on streaming table. I think I should be getting 1,500 quid." What? They just live in a dream world. You see, you've got to treat it like a job, And I've worked with a lot of players, as you know. There's a lot of players who don't want to work with me because their attitude is wrong, but they think it's my attitude that's wrong.
Yeah.
And it's not coincidental that I'll use Martin O'Donnell's a great example. It's not coincidental that Martin is now getting the best out of himself.
Yeah.
Because he's listening and he realises what he's got to do. And he's got it hard at the moment. Little Charlie's been a little monkey. He's not sleeping, and we all know what it's like when you have kids. So he's fitting everything round, and that's why he's getting the best out of himself.
I just want to give him a little shout as well. He's a really good pal of mine, Martin, and that
biggest
lad,
headache I've ever had.
But that lad, like when it comes to hard work and grafting and really making the maximum about what you got, that boy he deserves such credit, and obviously the work you're doing is fantastic.
Absolutely.
as well.
But I mean, do you want to finish snooker? Do you want to finish snooker with nothing, or do you want to finish snooker where you've got the best out yourself? You're mortgage free, you've got a couple of other properties, you're no debts, life's good. Do you know what I mean? You're not worried about having to find money for an holiday.
Yeah. That's
when you've got the best out yourself. It's not, people always go on about, I sit them down and go, what do you want to achieve out of snooker? And they go, I'd love to win a ranking event. I go, we'd all love to win a ranking event. So I said, would you rather win a ranking event and earn £1 million, or would you rather not win a ranking event and earn £3 million? Because I know what I'd do.
Correct.
Right? You soon get forgotten when you're ranking events. You don't get forgotten when you look at your house every day when you pull on the drive, do you?
Correct,
see? And it's all about getting the best out of yourself. And I've had lads, as you know, who've come and work with me, will openly admit that they can't do the work that I want them to do because they find it hard. And it's only hard because they're not used to doing it.
Yeah. If
you get used to doing it, it's run of the mill. Getting up early in the morning, eating the right things, going to bed early at night. And there's lads who I've worked with and they know what they should be doing, and now they're not doing it, and then they wonder why they're not getting the results they should be getting. So it's you've got to treat it like a job, Kurt, because it is your job, and it's a very privileged job. What job has the opportunity to pay you potentially £400,000 a year, travel all over the world, and people chuck money at you? Because I know you don't get that working down a local factory. They don't realise how lucky they are, but they'd rather make excuses than put the effort in. And that's what drives me mad with a lot of young players.
I mean, McManus had the same sentiments when I interviewed him as well. He was talking about the youngsters and their mentality for a start.
Yeah.
And he said learning to play the game properly. He said a lot of them, he sees them at tournaments, at PTCs, taking pictures with Ronnie, pictures with Robertson.
Oh, absolutely.
And he said, look, go and learn how to play the game properly and get your grooming done.
Yeah, I think my generation of players is a little bit to blame for that, to be honest. Because I think when I started playing, we went to the local snooker club, Riley Snooker Club, Guildhall Street, half a mile from here. Sponsored me for 10 years, loved that club. And you went on the club tables and you hacked around on the club tables. You didn't know about light whites. You didn't know about bouncing cushions. You didn't know about dicky pockets. You just got on with it. And we went down to Snowhill Snooker Club at the weekends in the pro-ams, and down to King's Cross for the pro-ams, and that's where you cut your teeth. And then the next generation that came along, and I'll chuck a name in the mix, Chris Norbury, because he played in my club. Great lad, Chris. Underachieved, really. But all Chris knew from 10 years old was practicing with me on a Saturday afternoon, getting 80 start, playing on a Rally Aristocrat.
Yeah.
Mint a Rally Aristocrat with a mint set of balls, you see. So that's all they've ever known, you see. So all of a sudden, them kids, they want Aristocrats.
Yeah.
They want brand new sets of whatever them balls are now, 1Bs or whatever they call them.
1G.
I don't know what they call it, 1Gs.
Yeah.
You know, they want the £500.
We know 1G, we know 1G, something else that we put.
Right? So they, you know, and I suppose my gen, I had a great discussion with Joe Perry about this a while ago, actually. And Joe agreed. He said basically, he said because they've had all that, they think that it should be put on a plate for them. You know, I never got a Rally. I never got a Rally Aristocrat steel block table until I could afford it.
Yeah.
You see, but all these kids get all that and they expect everything on a plate. And the problem is when they go out to the match arena and they've got to stand up for themselves, they can't stand up for themselves.
No, that's
you
right.
see, and that's the difference, you know. But that if that's what it is, that's what it is, you know. But and that's why, you know, I admire young Kyron Wilson at the moment. Do you know what I mean? He's done. I didn't actually think he was going to be that good as a player.
No,
but he is grafted and he's picked balls out. He's been a ball bitch for Peter Ebden for years and Sean Murphy. We wanted to be there, and that's why he's now getting the rewards. Do you know what I mean? Because he's prepared to put the hard yards in, and that's the difference. The younger generation, the way I see it, I think they think they should get it on a plate.
Good man. Yeah, let me ask you a question. As you've been on the tour so many years, what was it about the tour that you didn't like? What are the things that really needled you about the tour?
What needled me about the tour? Well, I was always kept in my own little circle. It was me, David, and when Rick Rodders and when Ricky come along, which I took Ricky under a ring. He's a great lad, Ricky.
Yeah,
he is crackers. Listen, you know what the tour's like. It's full of backbiting. That's what the tour is, sadly. Do you know what I mean? And there's a lot of, I don't know whether jealousy is the right word or not. But if that's that, listen, you put 120 lads in a factory and not everybody's going to get on.
Correct.
I think the thing I didn't like back in the days, we didn't get enough opportunities, really, as players, which wasn't our fault. It was where the game was being run. So Barry Hearn has done an absolutely fantastic job.
Yeah.
And it makes me laugh when kids go, I'm not playing in Gibraltar because it's only a small tournament, and I go to them, well, you've hardly won a match all year, so you should be playing in a local league open. You should be playing in everything, right?
Yeah.
And I would have liked more playing opportunities. I think we got treated better actually back in the day when you know, when you were a top 32 player, you were a top 16 player, you got treated like a top 16 player. And I don't think that the lads get that now. I think it's sort of like everybody's in one big pot, which is, if that's what it is, that's what it is. But you know, it was my job, Kurt, and you know, I wasn't daft enough to think that I liked everybody. I knew everybody didn't like me because that's just life. Not everybody's cup of tea. But I looked after those who were right with me. I still look after those people now in playing terms, and sponsorship terms, and work terms, and you know, there's whatever job you do, there's always going to be little things that niggle you, you know. But you know, you've got to look at, are you lucky to do a job that pays you that sort of money? And I think the majority of them things overrode the bad things.
Yeah, it's always a question I ask the experienced player because they've been there, done it through all the generations of snooker, especially the last say 20, 30 years, and I know there's a lot of things that are always drive you guys mad.
I wish snooker players would, on the whole, would be a little bit, would work together a little bit better. You know, I can remember going. Paul Hunter, God bless him, and Matthew and myself were the first three to go to Germany. And we used to go to Germany, and they just used to pay us for everything. You know, the guy going, "Do you want a coffee?" I go, "Yeah, have a coffee. I'll pay for that." And this used to pay us for everything. It was meant to just chuck money at us, and then players started going. Top 16 players were going for less and undercutting us. And I was saying, "You're stupid. You're going to ruin it for everybody." And one player went for his flight and his hotel for a PTC. And that was the start of the end. And now the lads have got to go to these tournaments in Germany. They don't get any money.
No.
They're not on flights. That's nothing stays the same. But I just wish instead of trying to undercut each other and stab each other in the back, if they all work together. But it's never going to be like that, is it? Sadly.
No, never, pal. Now, Ian, tell us about your fondest memory in the game, pal.
My best memory in the game. Wow.
I don't mean you meeting
me.
me.
It doesn't have to be just a meeting. From a playing perspective, really lucky. Too many to mention. I was involved and I didn't do it intentionally. I was just involved in some absolutely like mental matches, just at the right place at the right time. 50 odd behind against Graham Dotton 9-0 at the Crucible, pulled a mad one out the bag. 70-0 down to Stephen Hendry in the decider at Preston Guildhall in front of 1,500 of my own. I clear it with 71. Loads of 5-0 down at Peter Ebden in the UK. You don't beat league lads from 5-0 down. Peter was granite, and I beat Peter 9-8. To be fair, I had a good record against Peter. So loads of good playing memories. Just too many to mention. I remember playing Dave Harrell from a funny position, and he will laugh about it every time we go out, playing Dave Harrell one year in the UK Championships. And I think I'd been 5-1 down and 6-1 down. I got it back to 6-all. I had him in a snooker. And I was just messing him around on purpose. And he knew I was messing him around on purpose. And he'd give me about 6 or 7 misses. And you get fined now for swearing, don't you?
Yeah.
I think David would have to remortgage his house 40 cents. So he said that to me, then I messed him around for another 2 minutes, putting the white ball back. But no, loads of good. Listen, it's the best job in the world. People don't realise. You don't realise when you play. I used to get sick of going to China. Sick of going to. I used to go to Switzerland every 5-6 weeks.
Yeah.
Germany every couple of months. Israel. Thailand. We used to go everywhere. And I can remember thinking, oh God, I've got to go to China again.
Yeah.
And who else pays you business class flights? Excuse me.
Yeah, I remember.
Business class flights, 6,000 quid. No 20% tax and 6,000 quid 15, 20 years ago, right? And why would you moan about that?
Yeah.
And now I haven't been. And all day says to me, he says, come to China with me one day. And I go, no, pal. I said, I'll come to China when you're earning 500 grand a year. Not when you're earning 100 grand a year, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'd like to go to China now because I've been for, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, but people, it's such a great job. And a lucky job that you are being paid for something that you're good at.
Yeah.
And people, it's just a great life.
Touching on your power, Big Dave, I've got a funny story about him. I think it was 2012 in Prague. Actually,
taxi.
In a taxi. I've never seen a taxi driver do a 360. Right, the way he did with his journey.
Oh yeah,
we've got to.
Did he get the death stare? Did he?
Oh mate, we've got to the airport, right, and we're all piling into a taxi now. There's 7 of us. So he's got like a 7-8 seater. So Big Dave's at the front as per usual. He's negotiating the fare.
Oh yeah.
So,
he's not negotiating. He's telling him. He's telling him what the fare is. He's
telling him what the fare is. So we all know Big Dave, top lad. Let Big Dave deal with it because he's going to make sure it's dealt with properly.
Just remember, if Big Dave loses, everybody loses.
Correct. So anyway, he's negotiating with the taxi driver now, and I'm in the back. I'm pissing myself laughing, mate. Right. So anyway, he's worked out a fare, €50 or whatever it was. Anyway, by the time we got to the hotel, the taxi driver wanted €150.
Oh yeah,
right?
Oh yeah, Dave's playing that.
Now he must have not known who Big Dave was.
No.
Let's say, long story short.
Can you just clarify something? He wasn't offering Dave €150, really.
At the end, he was giving Dave €150 by the time we got the taxi. Mate, I tell you, he was some guy, Big Dave, wasn't he?
We ended up in. I've got a feeling it was the one that Lee Gorton had a lot to do with in Belgium.
Must be Antwerp.
It could have been Antwerp. In fact, it was Antwerp. And we'd all decided to drive. And so Rodders drove.
Yeah.
So Rodders came and picked me up. Rodders is only about 35, 40 minutes from me. So Rodders came up, and then we met Ricky, picked Ricky up, and then we picked Big H up at Stoke. And we never stopped laughing all the way there, right? So we gets there, and we all won a couple of matches. I think I lost to Stu Bingham, actually. I think we all lost in the 3rd round to get through on the Saturday. It was on the Saturday, and so we all went back to the hotel, and it was about 6 o'clock at night. And you sort of like you've got that hour of downtime where you sort of like come in and on what to do, and so we said, what we're going to do. So if we set off back now, it's probably going to be like midnight when we get home and whatever else, or we could stop. And just as we said stop, Dave plonked 4 drinks down in front of us, right? So he was stopping, aren't we? And we ended up, England were playing football that night, so we ended up in some bar in the middle of Antwerp, and Dave disappears, right? And next thing, Dave's up on the bar, stood on the bar in the middle of this packed pub, absolutely rammed out pub, and Dave's on top of the bar dancing, right, with 2 girls on top of the bar, right? The guy behind the bar is having kittens, trying to pull Dave's legs down to get him off the bar. Well, you can imagine.
Yeah, you got no chance of getting him off the bar. No chance.
Oh, it's funny. It's funny.
Yeah, no, he's an absolute legend, pal.
Oh, great lad.
Right, Ian, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to wrap things up, pal, because I know we're going to head over to the Guildhall now and catch the rest of the snooker today, pal. But it's been awesome catching up with you, pal.
Great pleasure, mate. Always. Love it.
Always great,
yeah,
mate.
I'm always floating around.
Absolutely, and we hope to really catch up with you soon, pal.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you very much.
Top man.